San Marco, St. Mark's Basilica in Venice. Exterior. History. Venice was able to fully take advantage of its geographical position. Thanks to the specific political and economic relations with Byzantium, the city committed itself to the role of a bridge between East and West. The Venetian identity was thus formed based on the variety of experiences and capabilities, where social life was intertwined with spiritual life, where Byzantine influence determined the development and success of an independent city that was able to develop while keeping its unique character, where human susceptibility created the artistic expressions of the highest level. If you find it difficult to imagine the ongoing influence which Venice underwent and absorbed for centuries, you may just visit the magnificent St. Mark's Basilica, the symbol of people and culture, which continues to fascinate with its extraordinary beauty. The history of this building is unique and extremely rich, as evidenced by the architecture and decoration, with elements of different styles. It all began in 832, when Doge Giovanni I Participazio started construction of a church at the site, where there used to be a church dedicated to St. Theodore, to accommodate the remains of St. Mark brought from Alexandria in 828 by merchants Rustico da Torcello and Buono from Malamocco, and to save them from Muslims. According to local legend, the Apostle Mark in his lifetime visited the Venice lagoon, and the angel foretold him that his body would be rested there. During the 10th century, some changes were made due to the damage caused by numerous fires which often happened in the town made of wood. Since 1063, during the time of Doge Domenico Contarini, and under the guidance of the architect, probably of Greek origin, the cathedral at the time, named the Chapel of the Doges, was practically rebuilt on the old foundation. The Church of St. Apostles in Constantinople was taken as example, so the spiritual and material heritage of the Byzantine Empire in the West was preserved. The consecration took place on October 8, 1094, when the body of St. Mark was placed in a marble tomb in the center of the crypt, under the main altar. Over the next 4 centuries, Byzantine and local craftsmen dedicated themselves to finishing and decorating the exterior and interior walls. We should remember that, as a state church, the basilica was under the rule of the Doge, and was independent of the Patriarch, who had his own chair at St. Peter's Church, San Pietro di Castello. The clergy of the church was appointed by the Doge himself, and the church was headed by the chief priest, primicerius. Only in 1807, by the order of Napoleon, San Marco officially became the cathedral and the residence of the Venetian Patriarch. The last act of this long history dates back to July 14, 1902, when the bell tower collapsed, raising clouds of dust and stone that covered the entire square. However, by some miracle nobody was hurt and no buildings were destroyed. Architecture. From the enormous Piazza San Marco, which has a length of 175 meters and a width of 80 meters, we approach the cathedral, attractive for its exciting harmony of light and color. The Greek regular cross in the plan is the basis for construction with architectural motifs typical of the basilica. The central nave sleeves are longer than the sleeves of the transept, and the altar is in the apse. The facades are preceded by an atrium, which surrounds the church from 3 sides, and the church itself is crowned with 5 domes. West-facing facade. We can see the west-facing facade divided into 2 rows of arches, the bottom one, where 5 portals are open, and the upper one with the same number of blind arches. Let us look at them closely, starting with the top row. A beautiful terrace, bounded by thin columns, consists of 4 decorated arches, and the central one, the highest with a window, necessary for lighting the cathedral. The large lunettes above the monofora windows are decorated with 17th century mosaics. The spires with statues give gracefulness to the building. In front of the central arch, on the enclosed balcony, we can see a quadriga, 4 bronze horses, which were supposed to have been placed in front of a cart. They were brought to Venice from Constantinople in 1204 as trophies of the 4th Crusade. This magnificent group, the original of which is kept in the museum of the cathedral, decorated the hippodrome of the capital of the Eastern Empire and was used by Napoleon as a prototype for the quadriga of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. In the bottom row, as we have mentioned before, there is the antechurch, a space for penitents. The portals are
Sample complete. Ready to continue?